and also to think forward about what's possible in this next chapter. That is the first goal. The second goal for today is I have a goal for connection. The leaders in the early college space are the best kind of leaders. This is a group that is convicted about what's possible for students and tenacious about going and achieving that for students. Two quick stories. One is we got a call recently from the folks over at Gardner Public Schools who said, hey, we want to tell you about a great creative solution we put in place for early college in case you want to tell other programs about it. They have a lot of students taking courses at the college nearby. How could they get their lunches there? They renegotiated their contract with their food service vendor. Lunches are now being delivered to the college. This is the kind of creative problem solving leaders are doing in this space every day. Another quick story. The invitation for this event said invite only and non-transferable. But we got twice as many RSVPs as we had sent out invites. So over the last couple of weeks, we were sending a lot of carefully worded emails. Thanks so much for your interest. We're gonna have a bigger set of rooms next year, so come back. Well, 2 minutes after I sent this email to one of our school leaders at an early college school in Boston, he called me. I've never spoken to this person before, and he said, I reject my invitation. I have been working in high school for decades, and I've never seen a program that works as well as early college. I'm going to be there. So now he's downstairs with 3 of his students on a tour today. This building is filled with people like this today, creative problem solvers, tenacious, convicted, and I hope you find each other. So let's get into it. In a moment, I'm going to start by recognizing the legislators in the room and our amazing co-sponsors. But first, I want to turn to one of our very most convicted, very most tenacious leaders, and that is Lieutenant Governor Kim Driscoll. The Lieutenant Governor's schedule today was packed, but when she heard early college was in the house, she scrambled things to be able to come here, make some comments on behalf of herself and Governor Healy. So I know we're on borrowed time, Lieutenant Governor, so the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Erica. We don't like to use the word convicted in this building, but we are 100% all on board. And just, Erica, you have done an amazing job building this coalition, making sure people know the value proposition that comes with early college. So really, let's have a great round of applause for the work that Erica's doing. We're all here because of you and your efforts to grow what is a phenomenal program. I have firsthand experience with our early college program in Salem as the mayor and the chairperson of the school committee, and was so grateful to be able to be a part of it, and especially in the early days when we were still proving, is this the sort of thing that's going to work? And oh my gosh, the results have just been astounding. What we heard from our students is they never really saw themselves in college, and now they saw this pathway to get there. They saw an opportunity to participate in high school in college classes. High school students coming up really proud to hold their Clipper card. They were at Salem State and had that experience. They were on campus and classes were being held in Salem High School. What we heard from our high school was that students all of a sudden felt more confident, not just in the classes they were taking in early college, but across their coursework, an extra sort of swing in the step on the days that we had early college opportunities. And really seeing themselves, many of our students being first-generation college goers or would-be first-generation college goers, seeing opportunities open up that they may not have seen before, and most importantly, knowing how to navigate that pathway. And then our institutions, amazing institutions. We have 2 on the North Shore, Salem State, my alma mater, and that's where we started, North Shore Community College as well. And I know there are institutions across the Commonwealth who are participating as part of these early college initiatives that are seeing ample opportunity to grow their student population. That's also helping students when they get there to sort of be a little bit more ready for the college experience, have that confidence boost. This is what you call a win-win-win. For the families who participated, I think the best days and the best comments that we heard were from families who saw the value proposition of dollars. Their students were getting college credit, along with all the other benefits. Starting out in their freshman year, already having credits under their belt is obviously going to help them graduate on time or early and save families money. That's the type of investment I think everybody can support, and you can see it, as evidenced by this room filled with supporters, with participants, from the legislature, local official. Our students are our best voices in terms of the opportunities that they have to move forward and see career pathways. And it's one of the reasons our administration has really doubled down. Last year we increased funding in the budget for early college and career pathways and building innovation into how we think about new high school redesign opportunities. And this year we're continuing that. And I know there is tremendous support in this room to ensure that we continue to invest, find ways to support young adults while they're in high school, ensuring that they have an experience that can carry them forward for whatever potential they want. And I think the best part about this program is it's unlocking opportunity for young adults who didn't always see a career pathway or know or experience that. That's the investment we're trying to make. We need it in our economy, an innovation economy, really strong. But most importantly, we want to support young adults, no matter where they live, whatever their zip code is, whatever their background might be, to unlock their full potential. And this program does that. So thanks so much for everyone who's here today. We're going to rally the troops and make sure we spread the word about the value of early college and the opportunity to support communities, our institutions, our families, and most importantly, our young adults. So thanks for being here. Appreciate the opportunity to join us.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. There's a stairway full of 100 early college students looking forward to taking a selfie with you in a moment. Okay, I'd like to recognize the legislators in the room, but I'm so afraid that we're missing people, so bear with me. And I know folks are coming in. It's always a mistake to try this and to get it short. But from the Joint Committees on Education and Higher Education, first Chair Dave Rogers, thank you for being here. The lead sponsors of the college and high school bill, Chair Jeff Roy, thank you for being here. Vice Chair Kate Liberty, and I know she has a sick kid this morning. On the Senate side, Chair Brennan Creighton, thank you for being here. Representative Gentile, thank you for being here. Thank you to our tour guides this morning for our students. We've got Representative Consalvo, Representative Beal, and Representative Garbely doing that as well. So thank you all for being here. And we at the Mass Alliance for Early College are lucky to partner with an incredible and committed set of co-sponsors today. Please, Mass Inc., Massachusetts Business Alliance for Education, Latinos for Education, Education Trust, State Street, the Mass Competitive Partnership, and the Massachusetts Business Roundtable. Thank you so much for your work. This work is possible because of the incredible contributions of each of these partners. Lastly, I'll offer a quick framing for this briefing this morning. Last week I was at an education event and I introduced myself to a group and someone said, oh, early college, that's all sunshine, right? There's no one that dislikes early college. First, yes, we are really lucky to be so well regarded and welcome. We've got supporters on both sides of the aisle and across stakeholder groups. That's a really good thing. But this does miss two key things. First, it's not easy to start or to sustain early college. It takes determination and it takes problem solving. And second, it needs to be much larger scale. We need sunshine everywhere and not just for a select few. Now perhaps more than ever is the time when we need to accelerate. We heard that from the Lieutenant Governor. We know the legislature wants that to happen. So we need to make it happen. What we know is that early college works, but we also know it's not yet reaching enough students. Right now, it's about 8,000 students, or 3% of high schoolers, and we believe it needs to reach 15% of high schoolers to make a meaningful dent in college success rates statewide. You'll hear from Chessie later today. Other states are already reaching these levels. We know it's possible. We're exiting the startup phase. What we do in the next 5 years will determine whether this initiative grows to meet its potential in Massachusetts. As you listen to today's speakers, who include system leaders, allies, students, listen for what's possible and what it'll take to get there. So with that, I'll turn to our legislative sponsors. Thank you. Why don't we start, Chair Rogers, with you, and we'll go from there. Thank you.
Thanks, Erica. It's wonderful to be here to support this initiative. And I'm Dave Rogers. I'm the House Chair of the Higher Education Committee. And I'm proud to say we reported the bill out of committee, and it's now moving along. And I want to recognize the former chair of the Higher Education Committee, my friend and colleague, Jeff Roy, who's been just a tireless champion, and his partner, Kate Lipper-Garabedian. I guess she can't be here. She's also been a remarkable champion. The vice chair of the committee has already been recognized, but Representative Carmen Gentile, who's been just amazing throughout this, giving me advice and helping out. The coalition for early college, I specifically want to recognize Mass Inc., and really the whole coalition. It's a broad coalition, and you really can't make things happen around this place without one. I see President of Salem State here, John Keenan, and you probably don't remember this, but when I was brand new, I sat down on the House floor next to you, and I said, I'm new. It's about 10 years ago, and I said, well, what advice do you have for me? And he said, Dave, when I'm in this building, I spend very little time in my office. And I was like, don't you respond to email? You're writing speeches, you're working on legislation. He said, I have a home office. I do a lot of that at home. When I'm in this building, and John did very well here. He was the chair of the Telecom Utilities and Energy Committee, a very senior post. He said, when I'm in this building, I spend time with my colleagues, and I build relationships with advocates, with my colleagues, with other business leaders, and I've taken that advice to heart. This entire relationship, this entire process is about building relationships. So look at the coalition that has got us here to this day. It's extraordinary.
Is that an invitation to lunch?
That is an invitation to lunch. And you're buying. This is great. I also want to recognize the research director of the Higher Education Committee, Alex Demu. He is leaving to go. That's right, you better applaud. He deserves combat pay for working with me all these years. But he's leaving to go to the Department of Higher Education, and so he's staying in this space, but it's been great working with him. And the staff in this building do so much of the work. And so it's so important to recognize him, and my chief of staff, Kira Arnott, is here, and others. So we are currently conducting a tour of all, or almost all, of the state's public universities, 29 of them. We'll get to as many as we can. And going around to the campuses, I see how this program is transforming lives. It really is not an embellishment or an exaggeration to say it's transforming young lives. And these are often students who traditionally would not go on to college, and they're getting a head start and a boost in ways that are almost unimaginable even 10 years ago. So the program is transformative. The House has been a strong supporter of this program, so Speaker Mariano and Chair Ways and Means Aaron Michaelwitz have funded this program at a high level, have steadily increased funding, so I want to recognize them and all the good work that's happened there. And last but certainly not least, I want to recognize the students. Some of them are in this room, some are throughout the building today, and that's why we're here, to try to make a difference in young people's lives. This program is making a difference in young people's lives. And obviously, Nate McKinnon, the chair of the leader of the Community College Association. Good to see you, Nate. Have a round of applause. It's dangerous when you start seeing faces. Who am I going to? So, all of you, thanks for being here. And nothing happens around here without a team effort. It's really, there's no one person. It's a group effort on everything that happens here, not just early college. So, thank you and enjoy the day.
Thank you, Chair Rogers, and thank you also to the other chairs of our education and higher education committees that are sponsoring us today, Chair Garlick, Chair Comerford, and Chair Lewis. We are going to transition now to our first panel, which is about how a city is wrapping its arms around early college. To save time, I'm not going to do introductions, but we will have them up here as soon as we can find the clicker, if anyone has the clicker. Marcela Garcia from the Boston Globe will be facilitating this panel. So thank you to all of our panelists.
Good morning, everyone. Like Erica said, I'm Marcela Garcia. I'm an opinion columnist with the Boston Globe, and I'll be moderating this first panel, which Erica, like she said, this is about Lynn, right? And it's about showing what happens when a city embraces the promises and the outcomes, the remarkable outcomes of a program like early college. So let me start with you. Like Erica said, the names are there. Let me start with you, Mayor Nicholson. So I understand that early college in Lynn it's a huge deal. In fact, it has grown, enrollment has grown 40% from last year. Tell me why, what has led to this growth? What do you see in early college? What are your aspirations for the program as the leader of the city?
Great, well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the question, and to everyone for being here. So it's so exciting to see a bunch of folks from Lynn, including our students, but also all the staff that make this possible. I think it's something that has taken shape really over years and years. This is something, I was on the school committee before I was mayor, and something that our current superintendent has really pushed, the one before that, and the one before that. It's taken a while for us to get here, and we can't do it without the partnerships that they've been able to build with our partners in higher education, North Shore Community College and Salem State, and ultimately the interests of the students and families. And one of the things I think about when I think about that interest is a statistic that the Department of Education tracks, which is the plans of high school graduates. So when you ask seniors what their plans are, in Lynn, the last few years, it's been almost 60% say they plan to go to higher education. And then when you look at the enrollment of high school graduates, there's a drop off for those people that actually end up enrolling. For whatever reason, it's down to more like 40%. So that's about 200 students, give or take, every year that had this idea of going to higher education and then for whatever reason never actually did it. And so I think there is an underlying interest in higher education, and early college with the support and the partnerships and the structure, I think is helping demystify that path for those graduates.
Can you actually just a quick follow-up, can you tell us about the diversity in Lynn? It's really a city of immigrants. Can you talk about the population, just so that everyone knows?
Yeah, it's a great point. Over 40% of our student body are English language learners. And when you think about the disparities in higher education, the way we're striving to go about early college is a chance to rethink that. And we have been able to, the team doing early college, they've been able to build a Spanish language pathway within the early college system, targeting those students who are preferring to learn in that language and opening up, I think, a lot of doors. 10% of our early college enrollment is on that Spanish language pathway. And when you think about the disparities in access to higher education, having that entry to the higher education system be with the support of all that we can do in the Lynn Public Schools is giving us hope about sort of closing some of those gaps.
Thank you so much for that. And just so that everybody knows this data point, Lynn Public Schools has approximately 740 students enrolled in early college this school year. So let me move to President Heineman. So the North Shore Community College is home to the first early college high school on a college campus. It's the Frederick Douglass Collegiate Academy. It opened in the fall of 2022, and it represents one of the ways that you are growing your early college partnership with the Lynn Public Schools. So what opportunity does this academy represent, and what are the ways in which is it impacting your campus? Oh, sorry.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. So the opportunity
that the Frederick Douglass Collegiate Academy offers to Lynn Public School students is the ability to get an associate in arts degree at the same time they graduate from high school. Right now we have 92 sophomores and 73 freshmen in the academy. Next fall, we'll add almost 90 more freshmen. In the following fall, that's the plan as well, and that's when we'll get to the full mod. So if you do the math, that's close to 100 additional associate degrees produced in the city of Lynn at a time in these students' lives when most of their compatriots haven't even started college, right? So very exciting, terrific results so far. 82% of the freshmen who started with us last year and were with us the whole year earned 12 college credits. That's 20% of the way to an associate degree. We're talking about 14 and 15-year-olds. Same courses our other students take. Is it easy to get those results? No, I'm looking out at the LPS and North Shore teams here that do the work every day. It's complicated. It takes a lot of deep collaboration, but it pays off because the joint professional development, the joint problem solving really helps us to grow as an institution beyond just Frederick Douglass. So, one more really important thing. An associate's degree when you graduate from high school for not 1 cent, right? It's free for students and their families. So think about that. At 18, graduates of LPS can go on to Salem State or other four-year universities and just start to tap their financial aid eligibility and all those new affordability improvements that the Commonwealth has made over the last year.
So now, President Keenan, speaking of that collaboration, in addition to North Shore Community College, Salem State University also has a robust partnership with the Lynn Public Schools, and the three institutions work in close collaboration. As the leader of a bachelor's granting institution, what is your perception of early college? And if you can tell us a little bit about the collaboration, which I think is one of the secret sauces of the early college program.
Yeah, secret sauce, magic sauce, it's all the same, but I would agree. Certainly it is a pleasure to be here today. I don't want to take a lot of credit for Salem State. Michelle Pierce is one of our assistant deans who actually does most of the work on our campus, so thank you, Michelle. Marcelo, thank you for certainly the Alliance for pulling this together today. I will tell you a couple of data points just so you know about Salem State. First, about 30% of our students are first-gen college goers, as am I. About 40% of our college students are students of color, and almost 50% are probably Pell-eligible families as well. So you put all that together, along with the fact that we serve more gateway communities than any other state university in the system, 11 out of 26 gateway communities, and you think about early college as that magic juice, the sauce, right? It's so special. And why is it the sauce? I actually call it the rocket fuel for the Commonwealth's economy going forward, right? And it's so critically important. If Bill Belichick were in the room, he would be saying to state university and college and community college presidents, do your job. And what do I mean by do your job? Serve those students in your region. And growingly, increasingly so, those are Hispanic students in our campus. Our campus will be proudly the very first Hispanic serving institution, four-year public in the Commonwealth. We are the first institution in the Commonwealth to work with Dream US, which is providing 10 scholarships for undocumented students at Salem State. So we have a lot of things on our campus that really make sense for this to be so important. We were one of the first campuses to do this, four-year campus in 2018, as the Lieutenant Governor, a proud Viking, said earlier. We've grown from 100 students to 400 students. I'm going to one-up President Meehan. I think last week he said he'd go to 5,000 students in the next 5 years. I will tell you this, the State University, Salem State, will go to 1,000. We've gone to 100 to 400. We'll go to 1,000, and I will tell you all the state universities will beat the UMass system in the next 5 years. I'm a former rep. I'm a little bit competitive, right? This one wasn't here when I was here. So for all the right reasons, the early college program makes sense, right? It is about the students that I serve in my region that we've been doing since 1854, which is Horace Mann said, right, the great equalizer, provide opportunity. It is really about our economy of the future. The Commonwealth will be a majority-minority state in not that long, much like California and Texas, as will the rest of the country. So if we don't do this work, and there's very little in higher ed that has such clear and compelling data as this. So the investment that the Healy Driscoll administration and certainly the legislature has made is paying dividends. And the reason we're here today, Destiny is going to talk a little bit, I think, but you'll see why it's so important. And the last point I would leave you that is the most important part of early college, and the Lieutenant Governor touched upon it, and that is confidence and belief, right? Do I hope that every college, every student that participates in early college on my campus goes to Salem State? Of course I do, right? Of course I do. But more importantly, I hope they go someplace. And they're able to do that because they're on my campus and they believe they belong on a college campus, and they may go somewhere else. And I see Chair Gabrielli here too. I also have to give him a shout out because he introduced me to the Smith Foundation 6 or 7 years ago. Pre-COVID, it's pretty cloudy, but it was pre-COVID, and now the Smith Family Foundation is supporting the work that we do at Salem State along with Lynn Public Schools and the Salem Public Schools. So we couldn't be more proud to be a leader in this space, and we will continue to lean into it.
Thank you so much for that. So that's a good segue to talk to Destiny. So you're studying at Salem State right now, right? You tell us about yourself. Tell us about the role that early college has played. Tell us about your journey. What has it meant to be in early college?
So for me, I moved here with my family back in the 8th grade. It was a little tricky getting used to the American school system, and then shout out to Miss Jenny. And then COVID happened, and then it's just like everything was just so like a lot. So when we came back, I joined the early college program at Lane Classical, and I graduated with 12 credits, and going into high school and joining the Promise Year program too. So gaining more college credits. For me, the early college program has just been like helping me build like confidence and resilience, just stepping into the higher education field. And for me, I think it just mirrors my journey and the realization of my own potential. And it's just, I want every other student to have that same advantage, that same possibility, so they can be able to dream bigger and do whatever their heart seeks, and just pursue careers that fulfill them and in their communities. And I think that's what early college means to me. It's been a journey, which hasn't been a super easy one, but it's been fun so far. I've had a lot of people supporting me along the way, and also putting in a lot of hard work on my own end.
So where are you from originally?
I'm from Nigeria.
And you're studying nursing?
Yes.
So you mentioned that early college has helped you gain confidence. It's not just about the academics, right? Like, tell us about, did you know anything about the higher ed environment here in the U.S. before you came?
No, I didn't.
So how has the early college program helped you navigate college?
Sorry.
Sorry.
It's really helped me navigate because I had like a lot of people supporting me along the way, and just being able to take those college classes without even being in college, it just taught me a lot of, even what a lot of people like expect of me, what the professors expect, what being in college feels like, even while being in high school. And I feel like that also helps me now with everything I do and with being in the nursing program too. So I think it all just builds and helps me work on a lot of things that I would have needed as a college student ahead of time, ahead of my peers.
Thank you so much. I have just one last question, and this is going to be for you, Mr. Nkinas. Just a quick follow-up, and then we'll move into the next part of the program. You mentioned that if Bill Belichick were to be here, he would say, do your job. What is the job of the legislators today? What is the message that, I mean, you're a former state legislator, you can say it now.
You heard Chair Rogers earlier, right? I'm about building relationships, not breaking relationships. So, and again, they've been great partners in funding. Right? None of this work is free. It costs money to put these programs in place and have the appropriate supports in place to make sure that these students are successful. So I can't thank the legislature enough, and certainly the Healy Driscoll administration for their continued support. So I would just say stay at it. It's working. Not a lot of things that...
Great answer.
Right? Perfect. Perfect. I'll end there.
Well, thank you very much to all four of you. Now I'm going to call Tessie for the next part of the program, and we'll be right back.
Excuse me, take it over.
Thank you all for such a great panel.
You just heard an example of how a city has wrapped their arms around early college. I'm going to zoom us out now and share the ways that this work is happening across the state. So 4 years ago, Chair Roy coined early college a forever because it ensures that students make the most out of their high school experience. It ensures that students and families save on the cost of college. It accelerates a student's path to and through college and into career, making it more efficient and effective. And it fuels a diverse workforce pipeline, which is critical for the Massachusetts economy. So the way that early college works is a deep partnership between K-12 and higher education, where specifically, but not exclusively, students of color and those from low-income homes take strategically sequenced true college courses during the high school day. These courses have strong career orientations, and they count towards both high school and college credit. Furthermore, those students are receiving enhanced academic and guidance support to ensure that they're able to thrive. While finances can pose such a significant barrier to college attainment for so many, we just heard that it's not the only obstacle standing in between students and a college degree. So early college not only helps with those financial barriers, but also allows students to build this true college-going identity. They leave high school and they see themselves as college students because they have done it. They have been there. They are on a path. They know that they're capable and they see what's in front of them. So today, early college has a strong foundation in Massachusetts. You're looking at a map right now that shows the current designation partnerships across the Commonwealth. There are 53 designated programs across 61 high schools and 28 colleges and universities. Bottom line, there has been impressive progress for such a young initiative. And year over year, more and more students are enrolling in early college. This continues to be an educational experience that they want. This fall, 8,000 students are enrolled in early college programs. 2/3 identify as Black and Latino, and over half come from economically disadvantaged homes. Accelerated growth must continue to happen for the Early College Initiative. You will hear from the hundreds of students downstairs in Nurses Hall right now that this is something they want, not only for themselves, but for their classmates, for their friends, for their cousins, for their younger siblings, and even for the students that they haven't met yet on the other side of the state. So the demand is there, and it's our responsibility as state and local leaders to keep pace and make sure that we continue to grow access. In January, we were very heartened to see Governor Healy's goal for the 24-25 school year reach 10,000 students in early college programs, growth of 28% from this year. We must do this, and along the way, we must continue to ensure high quality because we know that early college works. The analysis that you're looking at right now uses rigorous, well-controlled matched peer methodology. This simply means that students are being compared to students like them to isolate for the impact of early college. With those controls, we see 14 to 16 percentage point gains in enrollment and persistence. According to Mass Inc., this shows us that this doubles the odds of a student immediately enrolling and persisting into a second year of college. And importantly, these boosts hold true when controlled for race, socioeconomic status, and prior academic performance. In other words, the students who have been the least well-served experience as much or more of a boost as the students that have been the most well-served. So there is so much to be proud of, and also so much more to do. Right now, early college only reaches 3% of juniors and seniors in Massachusetts. The Alliance has a big goal: to close a quarter of the college success equity gap by race and income and benefit thousands of students beyond that through the growth of high-quality early college. According to Mass Inc., that means reaching 45,000 students in early college programs, 11,000 seniors, and about 15% of students in Massachusetts. So this represents significant growth from where we are today. but we both believe that it is critical and possible because of what we see in other states. States like Indiana, where the Commissioner of Higher Education has set a goal that every high school in Indiana offers the Indiana College Core, a block of 30 transferable credits or 1 year's worth of college. States like Texas, where 85,000 students are enrolled in early college high schools, another 10,000 students are enrolled in P-TECH programs, but an additional 48,000 students are enrolled in a hybrid early college offering through UT Austin. States like Ohio, where over 12% of the high school population participates in College Credit Plus. On average, those students leave high school 2/3 of the way to an associate's degree or halfway to a bachelor's degree, depending on which degree they choose to pursue. Massachusetts once held the title of #1 in college attainment. It is time that we restore that title, and this time ensure that we are #1 for all and not just for some. This is going to take 3 things. First, bold and committed vision and leadership at every level. This work is hard, and to do it well, it has to be a top priority. Second, it's going to take enabling policy and supportive legislation to lay the groundwork for strong, healthy, high-impact programs that are sustained over time. Later in our program, you're going to hear from the sponsors of an act relative to college and high school, which was recently reported out of committee, and seeks to encourage the necessary administrative, programmatic, and funding structures that will enable a thriving and expansive initiative. And third, it is going to take funding, as President Keenan said. Year over year, the legislature has been leading on funding. The legislature has breathed life into a burgeoning initiative and taken Massachusetts from a lagging position to an emerging leader in a national movement. Today, we are respectfully coming to you to ask you to fund early college in the FY25 budget at a rate of $27.6 million across line items. $12.6 million in the dual enrollment grant subsidies line item to fund designated early college course cost and college support cost. $15 million in the early college programs line item to fund planning, implementation, growth grants, and support for early college programs. And finally, ensure early college is a continued eligible use of the early college and innovation career pathways line item funded by the Fair Share Revenue Surtax. So as I conclude, I want to point to the folders that you all picked up when you came in. This information and more is included in there. We also have QR codes so you can access this virtually when you leave this folder behind. And I just encourage you to connect with the students downstairs. Hearing this from me is one thing, but hearing it from them, this is just going to come to life in a completely different way for you. So with that, I'm going to pass the mic back to Marcella in our second panel. Thank you.
Hi again, so I'm going to call next panel. So we have,
Thank you.
there we go. Hi. So this panel is all about career and technical education. And I'm going to start with you, Rand, of Franklin Cummings Tech. So you guys train students in desperately needed technical careers. 73% of your students identify as people of color, 40% are first-gen college students, and nearly all of them receive some form of financial aid. You're an advocate of early college. You're the board chair, along with President Francis. Why?
Thank you, Marcella, and thank you for having me here this morning. It's good to see a lot of friends in the audience and a lot of folks whose leadership I rely on. So thank you. On behalf of Franklin Cummings Tech, is Marvin here? Our Dean of Academic Affairs at Franklin Cummings Tech. Thank you, Marvin. So I think a couple of things to note about the college. We have been involved in and leading early college since 2007. First starting with a small program, mostly populated with students from Madison Park Vocational Technical High School, and proudly in that partnership. A few of the reasons that we're doing it our goals for students are not only to get to post-secondary completion, but it's to get you career attached and to increase household earnings. I think we put a particular spin on early college because we can get you there by the time you're getting out of high school, get you well on your way there because of the combination of professional certification, 2-year degrees and 4-year degrees that we have. It's important for us because, one, these partnerships with schools are a pipeline for enrollment for us, whether it's Madison Park, the Dearborn, a number of other schools. So we nakedly and explicitly want you to enroll in our college when you are at the end of your high school career. But I think one of the things that we offer is, maybe unlike other programs, we help you to answer the question, why am I showing up at school every day? There's a lot that you learn, but there's a lot at Franklin Cummings Tech that when you put that together with the hands-on education that we provide, you see the thing that you can build immediately that offers value to the world. So now you start to imagine that role that you're going to play in the workplace and in civic society very early in life. We hope that we're expanding your imagination and the choice making that you have for yourself as a professional and a contributing adult in your community. So we're proud to do it and want to expand.
Thank you. So let me go now to you, Superintendent. You run the Salem Public Schools, and Salem High School is a leader in the state in terms of penetration in both early college and CTE, career technical education, with 20% of your 12th graders enrolled in early college and 46 enrolled in career tech programming. Why have you invested so heavily in both, and how do you see the connections between the two? What are you seeing in terms of student interest that is driving you to invest in these programs?
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. There's a lot of Salem friends here, and so I can't name all of them, but this work doesn't happen because I lead the work. We have a lot of other people who have made all of this possible. I think one of the things we're trying to shape in the Salem Public Schools is that students should have choices, and they should have a choice upon graduation. It's not college or career, but they should have a choice of either or, and that should be their choice, not our choice. And so we're very fortunate to have career technical programs in the Salem schools, and we have early college, and we are able to offer young people the opportunity to take both, so that when they leave us, it's about a diploma plus. It's not just about one or the other, that they're leaving us with a piece of paper, but also stackable credentials, credits, workplace certificates, the seal of biliteracy. The list should go on, and they should be able to make a choice. We want them to be competitive within the state. You saw John Keenan. I have to deal with this guy and his competitiveness, so we're competitive. We want our young people to be competitive. I think the most powerful thing in the perspective of talking to students is students are telling us that they want to see the relevancy in their high school experience. Since the pandemic, the number of young people who are taking CTE programs has exploded in Salem. I mean, you can see the number here that of 46%, almost 50% of the students at Salem High School are enrolled in a CTE program. That's because they see the connection between their school and life after school. And I think they think about, and they're thinking about college for career more than what I think a lot of adults have been thinking about. They want to see that college courses, their next steps after high school, are linked to what they're passionate about and what their interests are. And I think we have to respond accordingly, and we shouldn't force them into one direction or not. We should be able to give them the experience of building confidence in a career and a confidence in taking college courses earlier on. The last thing I'll say, I want to put a plug in. We're very excited, specifically around career, about the educator pathway work, around diversifying the workforce. I think the biggest chance we have to do that is to grow your own programs. We think that there's interest on the part of young people to come back and work in their communities, but we have to show them a path, and that's a great merge between career and the college experience. Obviously, you need to come back with a bachelor's and a master's to be able to teach in our schools. And so I'm really excited about working with the Smith Family Foundation and other partners to make that happen for the youth in the Commonwealth. So thank you for the opportunity, and I know we have a real life grow your own individual next to me. So I'm going to pass it back to you, and then listen to her more than you listen to these older guys on the stage here.
Perfect segue into Camry. So I understand that you are a product of early college. Tell us about yourself years later, right? Tell us about what has early college meant, and just share your personal and professional journey.
Well, good morning, everyone. As a first-generation college student, there were a lot of struggles. There were a lot of moments and challenges that I encountered throughout my life. However, I was able to triumph all over through that. Early college was my salvation, in a way to think of it. Essentially, I started early college when I was a junior. From there on, I completed several courses at Merrimack College. And at Merrimack College, my senior year, I took an extra course, Introduction to Education. That was the course that led to where I am today, which I will be getting to in a moment. To be more precise, in that course, I was able to sit right next to along other college students that were current college students at Merrimack. And by sitting with those students, I delved deeper into the foundations of education and the items that really empowered me. From that course, that's when I decided to become a teacher. Currently, I am a teacher at Lawrence High School, my old high school, and there I am able to work with youth just like me, students of color, students in need that come from families that make them less than $20,000 and have families that are struggling and trying to make it through to make a change. And hopefully over the next few years, this empowers every other student and all students are able to get the same opportunities. On the last note, I must say early college made a change in my life.
Can I quickly ask, you teach at Lawrence Public Schools. Do you talk to your students? What grade do you teach and what do you teach? Do you talk to them about early college too? Because you're a living example of it.
So absolutely. Well, I'm a Spanish teacher. I teach 9th graders and 7th graders and a mix of students. Essentially, they come by during lunch, they sit down, they want to have conversations about my life, about my experience, because I also went to that same school. It's very exciting. They're able to relate to me, and that's one of the things that makes it different. Having somebody that knows you and that actually gets to know you, that understands where you're coming from. Those struggles in the morning, maybe with the lunch, maybe with some items, but it's being able to understand our students what really allows them to thrive in school. And having me as a support system and everybody else, shout out to Leslie over there, she has been my support system since the start.
Thank you so much, that was very compelling. So now let me turn to Jay. Jay, that's a hard act to follow. So you're on the Massachusetts Competitive Partnership. You partner with CEOs of the Commonwealth largest businesses with one goal, to promote job growth and competitiveness in the state. So why has early college emerged as a top priority for you?
That is a hard act to follow. I'll try to do it by making sure that Manny Cruz gets recognized. So State Representative Manny Cruz came into the room.
The one with the baby.
The one with the baby, right? So he's playing father and state up here. So to us employers, the most important thing about early college is the equity it promotes. Right? All of us have a responsibility to lean in when it comes to equity. And when I sit around the boardroom table with 20 CEOs of the largest corporations headquartered here in Massachusetts, we talk about equity throughout our work. Equity for us means being able to employ people of all colors in great jobs and provide them with opportunities to live great lives. The easier it is for us to get individuals who are better prepared to enter into the workforce, the more likely we are to then be able to open up their opportunities in our great companies. Let me share with you a couple of stats. About 65% of employers around the state have trouble hiring qualified workers. What does early college do? About 70% of the jobs that we have here in Massachusetts and growing require some form of post-secondary education. What does early college do? Early college is making it possible for employers to receive employees who are better equipped, better trained, better ready to be great employees in great companies with great opportunities. My friend Bob Hildreth is here from the Hildreth Institute. One of the things I've learned from Bob over the years is that when you increase expectations for individuals, they realize and exceed those expectations. When we introduce early college to high school students, we help them expect to go on to college. And when they expect to go on to college, what they do is they spend more time on their education preparedness to go on to college and succeed there afterwards. And so it remains critically important that we set up a pipeline that allows for great kids in great educational institutions to better prepare themselves for great jobs and great lives ahead, and that's where the employer community has a role. So we're thrilled to support early college and really see it as part of our equity agenda that we all should be leaning into to make sure that everyone in the Commonwealth has the same opportunities to succeed at life and have great grades.
Thank you so much. This concludes our panel, and now I'm going to call Erica for the next part of the program.
Thank you so much to that panel. When I think about the next chapter for early college, if chapter 1 was sort of take off and pilot, I think this next chapter, one of the key themes is career. You know, we always say it's not college or career, it's college for career. And really making those connections very, very tight. I think we've heard from folks on this panel about what that can look like. I want to recognize a couple more folks in the room. We have Interim Commissioner Russell Johnston here. Thank you so much for being here. This is number 1 on the job, and I know you're joined by Deputy Commissioner Regina Robinson. Thank you for being here. Assistant Secretary Bob LePage in the Executive Office of Education. Thank you so much, Bob. We've got Chair Chris Gabrielli here of the Board of Higher Education. Thank you for being here, Chris. We've got a future legislator in the room, and I wonder, Jackie, if you want to have your camera ready, but I know we've got future legislator Ivy Sophia Cruz here. How old is Ivy Sophia?
Two.
Okay, we are going to transition now to our our key sponsors for the college and high school bill, and we'll start with you, Chair Roy. Thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you so much, Erica, for the invitation to be here, and thank you to all the students who have taken advantage of this program. And thank you, Erica, for taking care of all of those names. And there's just 2 others I have to mention, because Chair Rogers said to me he neglected to recognize David McDermott from the UMass system, so we'll give a shout out to him. And I have to give a special shout out to Judy Evans, who was the Medway superintendent in my district before she got involved with this early college movement. It's nice to see you here again. Marcella, you had asked a question to President Keenan about what more the legislature could do. Well, I'm going to share with you some remarks that I delivered at the Early College Joint Committee yesterday, and that'll tell you something about the push that the legislature is doing to get this program going. I was the chair of the Higher Education Committee back in 2019 to 2021, and took the tour of all of the public colleges and universities. And I remember going to the community college in Lowell, and I remember a young lady coming up to me and talking about her experience. I'm looking and saying, college? She looks like she's 16 years old. And she was 16 years old. And she said, I'm coming here as part of an opportunity for me to get my college associate's degree before I get my high school diploma. And I just was amazed from that point, and I said, we need to grow this program. And thanks to Chair Gabrielli, he got in my ear, and he's remained in my ear. In fact, after I delivered those remarks at the ECJC yesterday, he sent me a text last night, and he said, thank you for being kind at the same time you delivered a 2x4 to the snub. The legislature has been supporting this program all through the years, and if you saw that chart that Chessie had put up on the board, we have repeatedly increased the funding to the point where it is today, this $25 million. And our goal is to see this program in 351 communities across the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. There's no reason why we can't offer this opportunity to every kid in school. We need trained workers to fill the jobs, and I'm glad that you mentioned the over 70% requires a credential beyond a high school diploma. And that can be some sort of an industry-recognized credential, to an associate's degree, to a bachelor's degree, to a doctorate degree. So whatever we can do to push people along so that they can participate in the Massachusetts economy. I'll leave it at that because we've heard so many great stories. We've heard success stories here this morning, and that's why we need to continue doing this. There are success stories throughout this building, and I'm so glad that this room is absolutely filled, and I'm so glad that my Senate partner, Brendan Crichton, is here, and I know he's going to share some remarks, but he's been a tireless advocate of this program, and he's been a great partner. We passed this bill in the House last year, and Brendan's going to make sure we get it through the Senate this year, right? No pressure. All right. So I don't know who I hand it to. Well, Brendan, all yours.
Thank you so much.
Senator Crichton.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Always hard to follow your remarks, but I do just want to say what a leader Chair Roy has been, as well as State Representative Lippert-Garabedian. They've been doing this work for far longer than I have, and it's just an honor to be carrying it over in the Senate and getting that across the finish line, hopefully this session. So I'm a proud sponsor, obviously, of the bill, and I know there's been a lot of great stories and discussions here today, so I will be brief. First, I got to give a shout out to my Lynn folks. So we have Dr. Heineman from North Shore Community College, Destiny, President Keenan, Mayor Nicholson. Thank you so much for all the work that all of you do on the ground level with this. I like to think Lynn is the center of the universe, but we're from all over the Commonwealth here today, so I won't talk too much about our program, but it's made some amazing strides over the years. And like Chair Roy had mentioned, it's those personal stories that really have an impact on legislators. So I've always, it's been a passion of mine and obviously a priority to make college more accessible, more affordable, certainly creating those pathways there and knowing of early education, and he's our early college, and making that a priority. It was there, right? Like I cared about it, I'm gonna sign on to amendments, I'm gonna support it, obviously I'm gonna vote yes to move it forward, but it wasn't until, I remember the day vividly, in the Senate chamber, the Senate reading room, that some folks from Lynn came in and they shared their stories directly with me. And you'll see it today, when you tell your legislator where you're from, their face is gonna light up because they love seeing people from the district. That's who we work for, that's who we wanna work with. And in this instance, it was a really inspirational moment for me. Lynn continued to make progress, and again, I won't talk too much about Lynn, but it has inspired so many folks and really a leader in this. So that's what inspired me to take more action. I think today also just keep in mind that you're here to tell your story. The difficult parts, the easy parts, anything at all that comes to mind. Just be yourself really when you're having these conversations. And don't think that if you get a staff person instead of your representative or senator, that it means anything different, right? Today the Senate's in session, the House has a lot going on, there's a ton of competing advocacy days, but it's still a wonderful opportunity. I was a staffer here for 10 years, and I took many of these meetings, and I can tell you, we work hand in hand with our staff. You sharing your story with a legislative aide, a legislative director, a chief of staff, whoever it is, be yourself, be honest, tell that story, and that will come back to the legislature. It can help us, again, to build on this progress that we've made. So thank you so much to the coalition. Thanks to my House sponsors there. I appreciate the pressure. I'm going to come back in the next advocacy day and throw it back at you on another issue. But thank you so much, and go get them.
Thank you so much, Senator Crichton, Chair Roy. We just are so lucky to have the support and leadership we have from you both. We could not be more grateful. Also, Rep. Breen is in the house, so thank you, in the room. Thank you very much for being here as well. I'm going to close us out, and then we'll continue on with the rest of Early College Day at the State House. You know, reading headlines right now, you'd believe we're heading in the wrong direction. Students lost a lot during the pandemic. Chronic absenteeism is up, academic performance is down. The value proposition of college is really under doubt, and enrollment is down. But here's a different perspective. Over the last handful of years, we've gone from a standing start to 8,000 students in early college, most of them Black, Latino, and from low-income homes. We have now 61 high schools, 28 colleges involved, all of whom believe deeply that they can not only help students go to college, but they can give them a head start. In many cases, a semester or more by the end of high school. And the data says it's working. This glass is half full. The best antidote to a challenging time is to double down on the things that are working, and that's early college. Now, pair it with the recent major state investment in Mass Grant Plus expansion. A lot of people don't know about this investment, and it is huge. Pell-eligible students can go to any public college in Massachusetts, community college, State University, UMass, for free. For free. And the next, and it's half price for the next level, the next income tier. Pair these two things together, early college plus Mass Grant Plus expansion, and we are seeing a major improvement in circumstances for our high school students. So let's reset what we think is possible in these next 5 years and aim high. To the legislators and staffers in the room, a special thank you for taking the time to be with us this morning. And for everyone else, the day continues with lunch, with legislative visits. Everyone without students today is welcome to join us for happy hour at Carrie Nation at 2:30. We hope you're there. And let me just put up on here. If you are taking part in the legislative visits, your lunch is downstairs, and that's where you'll re-meet the rest of your team as well. For those of you who are not taking part in those visits, please grab a lunch on your way out the door. You'll also find, for those folks who are doing door knocking, there's going to be resources, materials, and that sort of thing down there. Thank you all so much, and have a great rest of the day.